The information provided on Dr. Tom Roselle Live by Dr. Tom Roselle, D.C., interview guests, show co-hosts, or substitute hosts is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. It is for general information purposes only. Information from this broadcast should not replace the appropriate consultation and examination process by a licensed physician. Always consult your own physician prior to changing any current medical directive or prescription.
Dr. Tom Roselle Live, right now, on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL.
Welcome to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. This is Dr. Tom Roselle, live in studio, waiting to take your calls on anything you'd like to know about your health, as long as we're not talking about drugs or surgery. 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. That's how you reach us right here, right now at the studio. Give us a call. I'd love to talk to you on anything that you have in mind. The rain has stopped, at least temporarily, and hopefully you'll get an opportunity to get out and go for a long walk today and enjoy it. That's after you get done listening to the program. We have a very special, interesting program, one that many of you asked for, and those of you who are patients that have come into the practice and you say, how do I put my food together? You know I need to eat right, but I don't have time. And I'm on the go all the time, and I have to just grab stuff. And, well, the topic of today's presentation and this Wednesday evening, May the 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Roselle Center for Healing, is Simple Nutritional Recipes. But more than that, we're going to get into it in depth with somebody that we have a tremendous amount of respect for, a colleague of Sue's that works with us at the Roselle Center for Healing, Mary Jane Bembenek. Welcome.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
I'm glad that you're here, kid. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about, things that people don't want to look at because, they say they can't. How many times, do you hear a patient that you see in nutritional counseling in the office? They say, I don't have time for that. Oh, and I need to be fixed. Oh, by the way, I don't cook. And, all those crazy types of things. But let's talk about the essence of, why this is important. This is better than a recipe book. So when, we deal with...
But Tom, it is a recipe book. It's my personal recipe book.
Oh.
Because I'm going to be sharing with the group on Wednesday just menus, things that we make on a regular basis in our home.
Well, you know what? I looked through your PowerPoint, and it's really cool. And there's so many things in there, and just slide after slide of different types of foods and presentations, how you put it together. And they're all quick. They're amazingly fast. When Sue and I have dinner at nighttime, she preps in the morning. I finish it up, and really the whole thing takes about 20 minutes. But let's talk. Why are we in such a food crisis in the world today? Particularly, as far as people not getting things that they need to get. Is it a headspace problem, or is it real?
I think the problem that I see is that there is food everywhere. You could walk down the street, there's food. You're in your car, there's food, but it's not healthy food. It's not food that is nourishing us. So that's why it's so important for people to get back into the kitchen, go to the grocery store, buy the raw ingredients or the ingredients that are already prepped, and you just need to prepare them. But it's going to be beneficial for everyone in the long run to be doing that.
It's important that we take ownership, that we're the captain of our ship. And, so often, we get into a situation where I can't because. We become this excuse-making machine. And everybody across the board, is that way. I travel all the time. I'm on a plane going here and there and everywhere, and I still am able to differentiate the best of the worst and leave things alone that I know that are going to take. And sometimes I take food with me. Airplane food is ridiculous, and we do that. But let's get into this a little bit. Our nutritional sources in this country, in the Western Hemisphere, the United States of America, are depleted. Why?
Number one, it's because most of the agricultural is industrial, so they're using a lot of chemicals, and they're depleting the nutrients within the soil. And also these chemicals that they're using are also depleting the microbes that nourish the soil as well as nourish the food that is planted into that soil.
So everything that's supposed to go into our body isn't even there to begin with anymore.
Correct.
We talk about, you go to places like my family came from in the mountaintops of Sicily, or you go to the rural areas of Turkey or in Europe and so forth, and you have a tomato, or if you eat something that is grown fresh from the soil, it tastes completely different there than it does here. There's no comparison. Why is there such a differentiation between the two?
I think it's just, mass agriculture, as opposed to, small community farms or even like a home garden. I mean, it's going to taste different if you plant it yourself, nourish it yourself, water it yourself, talk to it, care for it, than, just, buying something across the country that was trucked to, your local grocery store. And the other day I bought some organic strawberries. They were on sale for 2 for $7, so I bought 1 pack. They are absolutely tasteless.
Yeah, there's nothing
absolutely
to that.
Tasteless. They look beautiful. I mean, a beautiful red color, but there's no taste to it.
Well, they're hybridized and they're grown in hothouses and they're GMO products, and the list goes on. Mm-hmm. And they're adulterated. Even your good organic foods today, supposedly good organic foods, and I say that with tongue in cheek, they still don't taste like they used to taste because of what we just talked about. They're growing foods in closets, the biostratospheres. It's craziness. My guest in studio, your host, your presenter this Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. at the Roselle Center for Healing, Mary Jane Bembenek. And Mary Jane is a colleague with Sue. They both see nutritional patients in the office, and their credentialing is the same. Mary Jane is a certified nutritional specialist. She has a master's degree in nutrition and so forth. And, we're delighted to have her not only on the program, but in our office, because she brings such a wealth of information and knowledge, to our practice. Our number here in studio is 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Love to talk to you on this subject or anything else. Give us a call. There's somebody that's waiting very patiently. I'm going to take that call. I usually wait a little longer, but I think this is important. Carl, thank you for calling. How can I help you?
Hi, doctor. My wife has Alzheimer's, and traditional medicine doesn't seem to have any way of dealing with it. But there's a doctor at UCLA, Dale Bredesen, who's been researching this problem for about 30 years, and he claims he's got a protocol for reversing memory loss with Alzheimer's using natural methods, diet, exercising, maintaining optimum levels of vitamins and stuff, and claims he's reversed the memory loss in a couple hundred people, and he's starting clinical studies at Cleveland Clinic.
Okay.
So when you hear something too good to be true, is this a scam?
If it's coming out of Cleveland Clinic, they usually have some data information. But let me give you some other background.
Sure.
Alzheimer's, like Parkinson's, or any of the amyloid depositing types of conditions, MS, where you have degenerative lesions that are taking place, in our experience over the years, and I'm going to preface it by saying this. I'm not a researcher. I'm a clinician. And we've seen many patients, not just dozens, but over 41 years of practice, hundreds, if you take that entire category I just gave you, be able, under the right circumstances, begin to reverse. And there's many different approaches. So, if you go back, the original thought process is that you take a look at heavy metal depositions within the neurological system, and that goes to everything from our environment to inoculations and so forth. And if you can get those out of the system, now the body is set up to be able to begin to at least have the opportunity to heal. There are other nutrients. But what we have to remember, Carl, is simply this. The brain is plastic. It means it molds. And, years ago we thought that if you destroyed 100,000 neurological cells, that they were gone forever. But what we know today is that the brain, like any other system in the body, will repair itself. It will regenerate neurological cells. So they're doing a lot of work with many different things. They're doing work with stem cell therapy when it comes to neurological disorders. The original work started in two areas of the world. One was in Israel, and also the Russians have done a lot of stuff, but also in Harvard Medical Center. Now, everybody's taken a piece of it, and Cleveland Clinic has a very interesting and very solid Natural Integrative Center. I think Mark Hyman, I may be wrong, is the head of that center. Very, very excellent natural physician. So if, going back to your question, if it's starting to come out that they're getting some really excellent results, the truth of it is they're probably getting some results. How that's been stretched and reinterpreted, unless you see the actual studies, again, is something for a different discussion. However, I can tell you that with high levels, the right ones, the high levels of omega fatty acids, exercise, detoxification, chelating certain things out of the body that attack the nervous system, we've seen huge responses. Low energy light laser will effectively begin to heal, re-stimulate, and allow the body to begin to shift. So all of those things put together, there's more and more that comes out. I go crazy. I go back to school all the time trying to figure things out. I did a program about 9 months ago on what happens to the brain with mold once it gets into the system, and we start to see a lot of these neurodegenerative diseases begin to show up. So the short answer is, yeah, there's probably a lot of substance there, particularly coming out of that institute. I'd like to see the data because I probably could learn something from it, but I hope what I said to you is useful and helps.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Carl. You know, if you have any questions like that, you can always go to rosellecare.com. That's ROSELLECARE.com. I eventually get to it, and I apologize tremendously if it takes me a little time, but with everything that you can imagine that comes in, I like to do them myself, and I don't like to just, give them off to somebody else to give you an automatic response. If you would like to talk to one of the doctors at the Roselle Center, all you got to do is 703-698-7117 and say, hey, listen, I need to talk to somebody about, and they'll hook you up. My guest in studio today, Mary Jane Bembenek, and she's a nutritional counselor. She has master's degree in nutrition, and she is a CNS, or certified nutritional specialist. We're talking about recipes. This Wednesday night's program at the Roselle Center for Healing is about that. It's Simple Nutritional Recipes, as Mary Jane said earlier. It's about stuff she does on a day-to-day basis. Mary Jane, we talked about food being wasted, and unfortunately there's another piece, too, why people don't eat well, is that they don't take ownership and responsibility for preparation from the time they're young.
That's true. And I came across a study this week, and, to quote a statement from the study, says confidence in cooking ability led to fewer fast food meals, more meals as a family, and more frequent preparation of meals with vegetables in adulthood, according to a new study that was published in the Journal of Nutrition, Education, and Behavior. And people need to learn how to operate a knife. Sometimes, that's helpful. They think
Gee,
that.
You think maybe?
Yeah. But also, too, it's really not necessary because you can go to the grocery store and find, vegetables that are already prepped, that all that you need to do is cook them.
The biggest problem that we see is that people shop in the center of the supermarket instead of on the perimeters where all the fresh foods are because they, oh my God, how do I put these things together? But this Wednesday evening, you're going to show them how to put things together nutritionally and quickly, and so they don't have to waste a lot of time. And guess what? You might actually get your health back. We're here at 888-630-9625. My guest in studio, Mary Jane Bembenek, and we're going to be talking about health and your recipes and things that you can eat. And don't go away. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Tom Roselle here. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. Yes, we are. We're in studio. 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Let's talk. Anything you want to know about your health from a natural point of view? Are you tired of the drugs and surgery? You want to take ownership of your life? Well, this program today particularly is one that can open that door. What are we talking about? We're talking about nutritional concepts, nutritional recipes, and that's the title of our program this Wednesday evening, May the 23rd at 7 p.m. at the Roselle Center for Healing in Fairfax. Love to have you there as our guest, and all you have to do after the program is go online at rosellecare.com and click and register, and we'll call you. And remember, those of you who show up at our programs know that these are limited spaces only. But in studio, your host this Wednesday evening, Mary Jane Bembenek, and she's works with Sue in the nutritional department. She's a certified nutritional specialist, and we're talking about foods that make a difference. Mary Jane, welcome back again. Let's talk a little bit more about, basically, people are in today's world, nobody wants to cook anymore. Everybody wants to go out to eat. Everybody, and it costs a lot of money to do that. I mean, it's like you could save a fortune. You could retire on what people spend outside. But having said that, let's talk briefly. I'll get into it more later on. How difficult it is for people to eat simply and nutritionally within their own homes.
It's very easy. And, most people do have, fabulous kitchens. They have all the appliances. They have everything that they need.
But they don't know how to use them.
Right. They're just not using it. Maybe the only thing that they're using is the garbage can or the compactor for all of the, takeout containers. But, realistically, people can get away with cooking maybe 3 times a week. And you cook in bulk, so you have leftovers. And, you have, let's say, beef left over. So the next day, you maybe could add just another vegetable to the vegetables that you have left over from the night before. So you're really not cooking a whole meal from start to finish every single night. You're just making that initial meal better and different the next day.
Soon I have a big salad container in the refrigerator, and, she chops things up and puts things in there, and we don't add any dressing to it. So every night we can add to it, or we pull it out, we put it on the table, and we can grab it, and then we do our own dressing. And, that's one of the things that's really easy, and we use pressure cookers and so forth. I know this Wednesday evening, I went through your presentation, and those recipes are pretty good. It made me hungry going through. There's some real interesting things there that don't take a lot of time.
And one of my favorite recipes that I want everyone to promise to me that they're going to make in their own home is roasted cabbage. You take a head of cabbage and you slice it into steaks, maybe about 1 inch or so thick. You put it on a cookie sheet and you brush melted coconut oil on top of the cabbage steaks, salt and pepper it, roast it in the oven for 20 minutes, flip it, maybe a little bit more salt and pepper, roast it for another 20 minutes. It is absolutely so incredibly sweet. You'll end up eating that whole head of cabbage. And the thing is even if you do have leftovers, it's good straight out of the refrigerator cold, the next day. It's just like, it's something so simple, so easy to make, and it's just so lovely.
There you go. Slice, a little bit of seasoning, pop it in the oven, and you're good to go. What's more simple than that? That's like crazy. You're making me hungry. I'm going to do that this afternoon. It's like really good.
And then the other thing too is like cooking doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as salt and pepper and garlic, and maybe a good fat, either grass-fed butter or extra virgin olive oil. But that's really like all that you need. And once you have those staples in your pantry, you can cook practically anything that you want.
And when we get back into the second half of the program, I want to talk to you at some point about, if you had to put 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever primary staples in your cabinet so you can spice things up, wouldn't take more than a couple seconds, what would they be? But the truth of it is that cooking is not difficult. We run into trouble in a couple different areas. The old, mom's at home, we grew up and she's in the kitchen and she's cooking, she's providing for the family. And sometimes we forget to teach our kids because it's easier, for us to do it ourselves, right? So it's like, get out of here, let me do it. And we get into that syndrome, so we never learn. Then it becomes more difficult as time goes on. And, in my house, when I grew up, if I wanted to eat, my mother said, there's the kitchen. You know what to do. You've watched me enough. And, but I grew up differently, and as we all did. But very, very quickly, if somebody had to prepare a meal, and this is going to be a yes or no conversation on you, could they change enough that if they did simple things that took only a few minutes, yes or no, change their life, change their health?
On both.
On both?
Yes.
Okay. That was a setup question. But we're going to get into that when we come back. Very, very specifically, this Wednesday's presentation on Simple Nutritional Recipes, really, if you want to know how to get it done, no foul, no harm, give us a call, 703-698-7117. We're at the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Dr. Tom Roselle Live continues now on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL.
Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Tom Roselle here. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle live in studio. Give us a call, 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Love to talk to you on anything you have on your mind, and we're talking about food today. Good stuff. Things that you can do very quickly, and most of you think that you're going to spend hours in the kitchen. Well, in studio with me, your host, your presenter at the Roselle Center for Healing this Wednesday night, Mary Jane Bembenek. She is a certified nutritional specialist. She works with us at the Roselle Center, and we're talking about simple recipes, things that you can do very fast, but they're nutritious, they're healthy. It's not let me go down and at the sub shop and grab a sub and all kinds of garbage, and that's going to make my arteries scream. This is food that can sustain us. Mary Jane, let's talk a little bit about the types of foods that we need to have in our diets. I don't want to get into what do we have to stay away from, because we know we need to stay away. Sugar, sodas, coffee, black teas, fast food, fried foods, alcohol, gluten, additives, preservatives, GMO products, and anything that's fried. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get into that on another program. But the truth of it is that let's talk about things that people can eat that are basically, they think, well, oh my God, I don't have time to do that, but are essentially very quick and very applicable and and they can save money. They can put money in their pocket instead of all the restaurateurs. What are we talking about here?
Obviously we're going to talk about vegetables. A lot of people say they don't like vegetables, or they only eat carrots, or they only eat tomatoes, or they only eat cucumbers. I'm talking about like real vegetables from the Brassicaceae family. And, maybe you don't like the vegetables because you never had them prepared well in the past, or someone in the home made canned vegetables and they didn't know how to season them. But I have some lovely recipes which are called steam saute, where once again, it's just a little bit of water, the vegetable, salt and pepper, garlic, and a fat. And once again, it's so good that you'll find that you're going to be eating a whole head of broccoli, a whole pound of green beans.
And people say, well, I can't even imagine getting 3 bites in, let alone all that stuff. But the truth of it is, it's how you prepare it, and the preparation doesn't take a lot of time. It's quick, it's fast.
And also the cooking time is fast. You're talking like within 10 minutes. You have a vegetable that's cooked and ready to eat and put on the plate.
When people, I'm going to give everybody a clue. Go to the mirror and look at your face. If your face looks drawn and you have bags and you're puffy and you have spotch marks all over the place, that's a sign that you're not putting fuel in that's appropriate and supportive of your body, and that your body's accumulating a lot of junk. A couple of weeks ago, we started a program with warning signs and signals, and Dr. Zhang was my guest, and, he started pointing these things out. But here's a way of actually, you have those things. Now you can reverse them. You can begin to actually turn them around and make a difference. When we talk about food, let's get into that where we talked about earlier. If you had to have, a half a dozen or so things in your house that would make things taste really good and that would help facilitate quickly, what would they be?
Number one would be sea salt. And, my favorite sea salt is Celtic sea salt. It's, unrefined, so there are some minerals in it, and it is a gray salt. And I don't eat any processed food, and very rarely do I go out to dinner. So the only salt that I get, into my body is primarily from the salt that I add during the cooking process. Pepper. And I have, coarse ground pepper, as well as a, grinder, a pepper mill in the house. The other thing is a good quality extra virgin olive oil. And for a while, my go-to was California Ranch. I think it's California Ranch cooking, California Farm Ranch olive oil. It had a really nice price point. It was very readily available. But then I decided recently, I want to branch out. And so now the last time I purchased olive oil, I got some from Spain and some from Greece, which has different flavors.
Well, most of the olive oil from overseas, obviously they're very, very different. And just like somebody's a wine connoisseur, there's olive oil connoisseurs. But overseas are the best olive oils. The things that are coming from this country, particularly from California right now, are of suspicion, even if they're organic, simply because of the fact that it's being irradiated by what happened at Fukushima a couple years back, and we're getting all of that in the fish that are coming out of there. And that's a whole different story. 888-630-9625. That's how you find us here. My guest in studio, Mary Jane Bembenek, and she's going to do a presentation in office at the Roselle Center for Healing this Wednesday evening on simple nutritional recipes, things that are helpful for you that you can do very quickly, that you can take control of your life. I want to get back to the phones for a second. Ed, how can I help you?
Hello, I was wondering if you could tell me, are organic canned soups bad for your health, and do you advise taking digestive bitters?
Mary Jane, you want to jump in on that? Let's start with, organic soups. Are they good or are they bad?
It really depends. For me to answer that question, I would actually need to read the label to find out, what the nutritional profile is on the label, as well as, what the ingredients are. I guess an example would be my mother. Every once in a while, she would go shopping with my brother at one of the big box stores, and she'll come home with organic soup. And she's like, look what I bought. Aren't you proud of me? It's organic. And then once I go through and I look at the ingredients, look at the nutritional profile, it's like, oh, Ma, I have so much to teach you. So it all depends. It all depends.
There's some products out there, Ed, that are fairly decent, but you have to be very careful with that. This Wednesday evening, she'll go through a process of presenting some of these things. But when you're looking even at all the ingredients, you have to look at how they were produced, the stabilizers that are in them, and so forth. Go ahead, Mary Jane.
And also, too, Ed, what would be maybe a really simple thing for you to do at home is, rather than buying the canned food, is just buy organic bone broth and frozen vegetables. And then,
frozen, okay.
And then, maybe you can buy some boneless chicken breast, and you could make your own soup. And we're talking about probably, if you do add a protein to it, it's going to take maybe a half an hour. But if you're not adding the protein, you're going to have a meal within about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's very quick. And just, for our audience, remember that when it comes to vegetables, organic raw vegetables or fresh vegetables are first, then frozen, then canned, in that order, if you want the best nutritional supply going into your body.
And also, too, in the, Baltimore, Washington, Northern Virginia area, we are fortunate that there's a lot of farmers markets. So, explore, find out if there is one, either in the neighborhood where you live or, close to where you work, and seek them out for organic, local vegetables.
And when you're looking at your canned foods, even though that says organic, you may have salt in it that is not sea salt. And you have to be very careful with that. And going to sea salts, by the way, when you pick them up at the store, often they'll say sea salt, but they have stabilizers in them. And sometimes there's a lot of stabilizers in them. And sometimes they have different grain products, particularly gluten, that will act as a stabilizer. So be very careful. If it's organic, probably not. But learn how to read labels, Ed. And that's the first thing that I can tell you. Thanks for your call, Ed. Let's touch on the idea of preparation again, and foods that we can have in the house. You mentioned a couple, three. Those are quick. Raw garlic is critical. Having good sea salt. And by the way, sea salt, and this is a conversation I've had with a lot of people. Sea salt is not sea salt. Is not sea salt. It depends where they get it. And so you have to be very careful about where the sea salt is coming from, and that takes a little research to find out. Because if the waters are polluted, the sea salt also is going to have a problem. So let's talk about a little bit more about that. What's good in the house? What should you stock to be able to do things quickly and healthfully?
I'm a big fan, of garlic. When a recipe says 1 clove, I usually add, 2 to 3 cloves. Onions are very flavorful. And also have something sour, either a vinegar or citrus. So when you finally do make a dish, you're going to taste it and you're going to determine to yourself, like, what is it lacking? It could either be salt. It could be fat, it could be a sweetness, or it could be something sour. So, think of also having, those staples in the house as well. Like a vinegar, lemon, orange, as well as, natural sweeteners, honey or maple syrup.
Talk about eggs, good or bad?
Oh, they're absolutely wonderful, especially, from pastured chickens.
So we want pasteurized, grass-fed, free-range chickens, not the conventional type.
Yes, and if you come to my presentation on Wednesday, you're actually going to see some lovely, happy chickens in a field. In a field.
We won't talk about when my grandmother did chickens, but that's
Well, you're going to see a couple. You're going to see 3 different pictures of chickens.
very cool.
Yeah, 2 before. Well, I guess, yeah.
If you look at people's dietary patterns, and there's been a lot of information that's been published over the years. There was a book that was written a long time ago simply called Nutrition. And the guy that wrote it was an MD. His name was Thomas Ballantine. And he had in the middle was a pictorial representation of people who ate natural diets and very quick diets, and people who went to Western countries with the foods that have been adulterated. And one was a twin, another one was brother or sister, and so forth. And the facial configurations of one that ate their natural diet and hadn't been adulterated compared to what they looked like in Western culture was huge. Teeth were turned and gnarled. Facial configuration, bone density was collapsed on the face. Eyes were sunken. Where when you look at people from their natural habitats and they were eating natural foods that were grown outside that hadn't been manipulated, they had strong, vibrant, healthy teeth and eyes and face and hair. The difference was huge. And this is what we're talking about.
Right. And also, too, the other thing is, I'm a very compassionate person. And I'm also very empathetic, and I bring that to my practice. And I have it with me, 24/7. So a lot of times if I'm noticing what people have in their carts, I'm also like visualizing in my mind, like, what chronic disease are they struggling with now? Or I also see into the future, like what chronic disease will develop in the future if they continue to eat it the way that they're eating.
One of our callers early on asked about Alzheimer's and the research I was going at Cleveland Clinic. And one of the things that should be a staple in anybody's household is coconut oil. The MCTs, or the medium chain triglycerides in coconut oil, is not only preventative, but in many cases anecdotally have shown to reverse different neurodegenerative conditions, including Alzheimer's. And this original observations were done by a nurse who was treating her husband, who had really advanced, but had gotten the levels way, way, way high. So now we know how to synthesize, get the MCTs into a much more usable format. So those are the things. But if you got coconut oil in the house, not only is it tastes good, but it also is a very excellent preventative from a neurological standpoint.
Yeah, and also, too, to take that a step further, there's also something called coconut manna, which is, coconut butter. And, that's absolutely fabulous to put on, gluten-free bread, or also to add it to a smoothie.
How about canned Alaskan salmon and Norwegian salmon to throw on a salad, good or bad?
Once again, I would like to, read the label, but I do encourage people to snack or eat a lot of, wild-caught tiny fish.
The little guys are the better ones.
The little guys. And I think the acronym is SMASH. So it's sardines, mackerel, anchovies. Ooh, haddock? No. Herring?
Herring.
Yeah. So, so smash.
Yeah, those are excellent. In our house, we have them around all the time. And, just in case, there are times where, Sue and I will have a late night, or we're coming in from a trip and we're hungry. We don't want to eat heavily. So we'll make a big salad and we'll open a can of salmon. And it's real wild caught, Norwegian salmon, and we'll toss it on the salad and call that dinner. And, we'll throw some seeds and we'll throw some sprouts on it. So all of a sudden you have all kinds of really good nutritional things, that you can do very quickly. It takes literally 5 minutes. You walk in, sit down, grab a bowl, throw the stuff in. Remember we said we had the salad already in the refrigerator, and put some olive oil and spices and so forth, and we're good to go. 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. My guest in studio, Mary Jane Bembenek, your host, your presenter, this Wednesday evening at the Roselle Center for Healing. She's going to be talking about nutritional recipes, simple stuff, things that you can do very quickly, so you don't have to spend a ton of money outside all the time, and you don't have to grab a sandwich, and you don't grab a candy bar, and you don't grab, I got to get some food in my stomach, and you wonder why you feel bad and your body's breaking down. Well, here's an opportunity. This is your time to really figure it out. Everybody's been asking for a cookbook. Well, this is Mary Jane's cookbook. This is her own homegrown recipes for many different things. I promise you it's going to be fun. So if you're at a loss and you've been a patient or your friend, bring somebody with you. This is really a great time, great opportunity for you to really get it right and to be able to change things slowly and be able to do some substitutions. Like I said, I went through and I was drooling, Mary Jane, over your recipes. The pictorials are great, and you'll go away with stuff that you can do immediately and take home. This is why we do these classes, and this is one of the primary applications that all of us need in our lifestyle. We've got to have the cement, the stuff that heals us and makes us stronger than what we are. We're coming up to the break. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. Mary Jane Bembenek is my guest, your host this Wednesday evening. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live, as you do every Sunday at 12 noon on the Eastern Seaboard. Those of you on the other side of the country, you know the math, 3 hours earlier. And those of you who listen to us online or podcast, thank you very much, because we do get your messages and we try to respond as quickly as we can. Thank you for letting everybody know about this program, because it's spreading like wildfire. We appreciate that. Thank you. My guest in studio, your host, your presenter, this Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. at the Roselle Center for Healing in Fairfax, Mary Jane Bembenek. And Mary Jane is a nutritional counselor in our office. She works with Sue. She's a certified nutritional specialist. She knows her stuff. And she's going to be talking to you about something that is near and dear to all of our hearts. It's called food. And she's going to give you some recipes that really, really work, and that they're quick, they're nutritious, and you don't have to go out and spend money and grab a sandwich or, all the little things, or look for the happy hour hors d'oeuvres, as they say, with that cocktail that you have every night. That's not the best supportive thing for you in the world. Mary Jane, let's talk a little bit more about, how we're going to approach this on Wednesday evening in the next few minutes that we have.
Well, basically, we're going to start with breakfast. So I'll be presenting, 3 different breakfast options, and then we're going to move into snacks. Because it is very, very easy to make nutritional snacks for yourself rather than purchasing a processed protein bar or making a protein shake. And to me, it's like, what is pea protein isolate? To me, that's a processed refined food. Like, what is it? How do they even make it? And then we're going to move on to vegetables. Because, everybody needs more vegetables into their diet. And then we're going to move on to a couple meat dishes, for the carnivores in the group. And also, too, one of the things that I was wanted for many years was an Instant Pot. So I finally got one for my birthday. So I do have a couple recipes that are geared for the Instant Pot. And believe it or not, there will be ending with a dessert recipe.
Yeah, I saw that on your PowerPoint. I said, I'm going to be there.
And also, too, the dessert recipe is a brownie recipe, and I've tried many different brownie recipes, as well as, my networking of friends. And the ones that I'm going to share with you on Wednesday night is really top down, always the first choice. And I'll give you a hint. It's made with black beans.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Very cool. Black beans are good for you.
And it's gluten-free.
So actually you got something that tastes good and is good for you too?
Yes.
How did that happen?
Yes.
This Wednesday evening, you're going to have an opportunity to get your saliva moving so you can learn how to put things together in a very simple, very straightforward, very applicable way. What an opportunity, right? Everybody thinks that they got to go out and buy something. Order the pizza. Let's stop and, go to this, go here, go there. And you don't have to do it. You can make it simple. Join us this Wednesday evening. Call Roselle Care go to rosellecare.com. That's the easy way. And click on the slide that says Simple Nutritional Recipes, Wednesday, May 23rd, 7 p.m. at the office. And reserve your seat now, today, right now, after we're done with the program. Go do that, rosellecare.com. Or just simply call 703-698-7117. And reserve your seat because, as you know, once we're full, and we want to make sure that we have the opportunity. Mary Jane, this is like fun, because obviously I like food. But I'm excited for your program this Wednesday evening, and I'm sure everybody that shows up is going to walk away with, oh, my God, I didn't realize it was that easy. We're coming up to the end of the program. Unfortunately, way too short as always. If you want to get a hold of us offline, all you have to do is go to rosellecare.com. Same thing you're going to do to register for the program. We'll see you next week. Same time, same old place. Love you all. Bye.
Are you dental phobic? Do you neglect your dental health because of fear and anxiety? A beautiful smile begins with exceptional dental care, and you can trust in the expertise of Soft Touch Dental Care and Dr. Michael Chung. Soft Touch Dental Care is unlike any dentist office you'll ever experience. Their warm and welcoming environment is designed to soothe fears and anxiety the moment you arrive, and they're especially pleased to pamper their honored guest patients. Dr. Michael Chung is a professional and leading expert in all areas of comprehensive dentistry, including cosmetic, sedation, neuromuscular, TMJ, and implant dentistry. Offering state-of-the-art technology, Dr. Chung can give you the smile of your dreams. Arrange for a complimentary consultation today with Dr. Michael Chung and experience the expertise that makes Dr. Michael Chung so unique. Call 703-319-6990. That's 703-319-6990. Or visit bestinsmile.com. That's bestinsmile.com.
This is Dr. Tom Roselle. After 38 years of practice and almost 1 million patient visits, the Roselle Center for Healing knows what works and knows how you can take control of your health and wellness. My team of doctors practice 21st century integrative medicine. Whether you suffer from chronic pain and fatigue, allergies or headaches, we can help. Take charge of your health before it's too late. Make an appointment today. Call 703-698-7117 or visit online at rosellecare.com. This is Dr. Tom Roselle, author of Ageless Health. Health is a do-it-yourself program. My book, now also available in audio version, is a step-by-step program of how to take control of your health and wellness without drugs or needless surgery. You have the capacity to change your health and level of well-being. Take control of your health today and order Health is a do-it-yourself program.
For more information and to order, please visit agelesshealthbook.com. That's agelesshealthbook.com.
Breast cancer is a major health risk to all women. It can silently grow uninterrupted for years. The Thermography Centers of Fairfax reminds all women to conduct monthly and annual breast exams. Consider a thermography scan from the Thermography Centers as an adjunct to your routine breast exams. Digital infrared thermal imaging is safe and non-invasive. For more information and to schedule an appointment, call 703-520-7591 or visit thermographycenters.com.